Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Hardcore Mortgage Real Estate Business Podcast. Today is Wednesday, February 22nd, 2023. Pretty jacked up today for a number of reasons. Plenty to talk about. On our panel today, we have Mr. John Cole. Good morning, John.
Good morning, everyone.
And we have the host of the Hardcore Mortgage Real Estate Business Program, industry vet of over 30 years, Mr. Harvey Freed. Good morning.
Good morning, Harry and John.
And we will have Becky Alley coming on. She is with a client right this second, so she will come on as soon as she gets done with her business. And Lisa Lawson is taking the morning away from the podcast today. Want to give everybody an update since we have a lot to talk about today. The podcast is produced and directed by Roberto Beauchene, powered by Fairway Independent Mortgage Corporation, Equal Housing Lender 2289 is our NMLS number. And today in Metropolitan Detroit, freezing rain, warnings all over the place. I think John Cole is going to be Ice-mageddon today, but we have plenty to talk about. I want to be the first to announce that as of 10:23 this morning, FHA announced that they are going to reduce the MIP premium by 30 basis points, which is on average, every American that buys a house, it's going to save you on average of $800 a year. And John, I asked Harvey this pre-show, if somebody handed you a check for $800 at the end of every year, would you cash it or would you just throw it away?
I mean, of course I'm going to cash it, and I'm going to say thank you, and I'm going to, continue to do the right thing. And I mean, that's the way that everybody should take a look at this. There's going to be those naysayers that are going to harp and bitch about something that FHA is offering, but this is a really, really, really good thing. This is way back when I first started in the industry, levels of what MIP used to be on a monthly basis. So this is amazing. And you know what? Everyone should say, good, let's go. Finally, something went our way where things got cheaper instead of more expensive.
All right, Harvey, you love it because you are an FHA guru. I remember, and this is a quote. So Harvey Freed comes to us, I think it was about 1994, right, Harvey? He came to us in 1994, and you said the following: I know more about FHA than anybody in your office. You need to hire me. So Harvey, this has to be good news for you, correct?
It is good news, Harry. It's good news for the consumer out there, but let's just go over the quick numbers for you. And at the time, I probably did know more than anybody back then. I think everyone's caught up. I did a $250,000 mortgage for the FHA buyer. And the difference with the lower monthly MIP, if they were just putting down the 3.5%, again, MIP has been tiered. It was lower if a client wanted to purchase and put down 10%. But with the new change this morning, it equals $62.49 on a $250,000 mortgage amount. So, Harry, that savings is about $749.88. Like you said, if someone handed you $750, would you take it? And it's going to help some FHA buyers out with the monthly payment. Absolutely.
I love that. And welcome this morning to Becky Alley, top 1% of all originators in the United States. Becky Alley, we're talking about the great news that came out at 10:23 this morning, how FHA is reducing MIP premium by 30 bips. I think it's great news. As we sit here on an Ice-mageddon day in southeastern Michigan, they're projecting crazy ice. So we told everybody to stay home today. You can work remotely. But Becky, what do you think about the great news from FHA this morning?
I feel like anytime that you're in a position where we're able to increase the affordability of housing for our clients, it's always a positive thing. I feel like buyers have really been through the ringer, especially sometimes the FHA candidates where you have less than perfect credit. Perhaps something happened in the past that's driving the scores down that was beyond your control, and you're in that position of recalibrating your life. So anytime that you can have a notch in your belt, that's a victory that's going to drop that payment. $70, $50. I mean, every dollar counts when you're trying to compete with multiple offers, and affordability has been a little bit of an issue for a lot of people. So I think it's amazing news, and I love that they're bending a little bit to help people get into these homes.
Yeah, I loved it so much when I saw that because it's good news. And like you said, if it helps people save money, get into a home, no matter how much it is, we're always looking for ways to advise and counsel our clients on how they can save money and get the most out of their dollar. All right, let's jump right into the topics at hand. panel. I'm going to go to you, John. Existing home sales nationally, John, down 12%. But how does that really affect our area? Because, I took a look at some things, like we always do. We like to analyze all the data that comes in. We know there's still a lack of inventory. However, we are busy with buyers. There's just no houses is one reason. Maybe nationally, home sales are down, but in our area, business is brisk. So, for example, let me give it to you this way, John. In Bloomfield, actually, there are 154 active listings in Bloomfield, which includes Bloomfield Hills, Bloomfield Township. That's actually up a little bit. Royal Oak is about steady at 92. Birmingham's down a little bit from 91 to 84. Troy's down from 90 to 86. Huntington Woods, ready? Only 2 to 3 homes on the market. That's the same. Downriver, Trenton, 21 homes. Allen Park, 27 homes. Southgate, 26 homes. We're talking about, in the big picture, John, around here, still not a lot of inventory. But nationally, do we care about nationally? I guess we care about trends, of course we do, but there's still a lack of inventory. There are way more buyers out there looking for homes than there are homes on the market. John, what do you think?
No, I agree wholeheartedly. I mean, I think you're starting to see more and more homes come on the market, more and more quality homes come on the market as of recent. The weather has broken a little bit here in Southeast Michigan. Today is not an indicator of that, but the weather had broken a little bit. We got past, all these midwinter break, or actually we're in the midst of it, midwinter break right now. So you're going to start people doing the spring things that they do. And one of those spring things that people do is they put their house up for sale so that when their kids get out of school for this year, they have plenty of time to move into their new home, acclimate to their new area, and get their kids registered for that school year the next year. And I mean, that's kind of what we see. We've known that this has happened for a long period of time. This is the way we're very cyclical in Michigan. This is the way it always used to be. The last couple of years, it had not been this way because rates were so low and people were just taking advantage of anything they could. And also they were working from home, schooling from home. So you had those other factors taken off the table. So yeah, I mean, this is just what it happens. And it was, very, very slow over the winter months for the entire country. But we're going to get back to normalcy here and really start doing some good business. It's the number one thing for me is do good business with good people. Enough with these people out there that are saying they know what they're doing when they really don't. They talk a good game, but when it comes down to getting the loan done, they can't do it. And I am tired of all of the bad individuals in our industry, and we need to move on.
Yeah, I agree with that. Before I go to you, Harvey, I want to go to Becky because there's something top of mind. We do the radio show every Sunday, 9 to 10, 97.1 FM, Hardcore Mortgage Real Estate Business Show. And I get worked up about that very thing. But what I want to talk to Becky is, Becky, you were just out with a client taking a nap. Becky, people say that nationally it's down 12%. But locally, Becky Alley is not slow, and Becky Alley's buyers are out there buying. Becky, tell us what's going on. What's the conversation you're having with buyers? It's busy out there, right?
Yeah, it's extremely busy, and people are wanting and understanding to invest in themselves and where that is going, right? Because you're paying rent, we talk about it, you're paying 100% interest rate. And coincidentally, the client that I just spoke to was someone that I met at a buyer seminar that I did back in October. The landlord is wanting to sell the home, and obviously they're giving her the first crack at it. So it's all about timing, right? You hear, oh, it's great to buy. It's great to buy. It's great to buy when it's the right time for you. And the ones that are recognizing that it's time to invest in themselves, we are always one phone call away, and there's never a pressure sale like what John was kind of alluding to. We are here when it works for you. So I spoke with her in October. It's now end of February. It wasn't the time when we spoke in October, but what's important is it's all about that timing, and she's reaching out because it always starts with that conversation. So people are realizing that home ownership is always going to be that piece of that American dream. We're definitely extremely busy. And, when you're talking about, nationally, we are a national lender, right? So we do have our ear to the ground as far as what is happening in every pocket of the nation, but we're very hyper focused what's going on in our backyard here in Michigan. And in Northville, you're looking already 40,000 over asking. I've seen my buyers have been passed up. There was a $300,000 sales price. They offered 340 and they still got passed up. So this market isn't just one thing. It's definitely evolving. It's changing daily. And The one thing that stays the same is change. So you're either going to be a part of that change and you're going to be responding to it, or you're reacting to it. And the ones that are reacting to it, you can see that from a mile away. They're giving people some not really good advice, and some of those buyers are missing out on these opportunities.
Yeah, thanks for that, Becky, and I really appreciate that. And as you mentioned, we are a national company, Capital Mortgage Funding, powered by Fairway Independent Mortgage Corporation, national lender, licensed in 50 states. We do loans all over the United States. And Harvey, I was just in Madison, Wisconsin at one of our headquarters, talking to all the Fairway people, trying to get a handle on the pulse, what's going on in the entire country. But one thing you can't take away from are the people that you do business with. John said, do good business with good people. Becky said, hey, listen, she's establishing a relationship. She just talked to a buyer that she first met in October. We here, Capital at Fairway, we have some of the best people in the industry, the most experienced people. And one of our favorite things is that we like to, and I know you like to, and I call you the great entertainer, you like to educate and really talk to your buyers about what they're getting into. And sometimes, Harvey, it is aggravating for you. It's aggravating for you that people don't know, or you think they should know more than they really do. But explain the educational process, because let's face it, there's a lot of moving parts right now in the entire real estate and mortgage world. Some people don't even know about MSHDA loans, first-time loan buyer programs. And you sat there and you like to go ahead and entertain, right, Harvey?
Yeah, I'm still entertaining as many folks as I can get in front of me, and especially the first-time home buyers. Again, whether you're 25 or 45, it's that gap of knowledge because you've never gone through this process. So that's what we do immediately, is really start with getting that process underway. Becky used to say, starting the conversation, and then you go right into documentation and education of how this all works. Getting people set up for this marketplace in the next 2 months is key. The inventory is going to sustain these prices. Subsequently, there's going to be multiple bids. And again, it goes right back to that educational piece. Having our clients in a position where they understand that if it is 10,000 additional out of their 401k or their savings, how those numbers work for them. So it's just tons of information we're trying to get out there to get our clients in front of what's about to happen. We're going to have a good buying season. People are going to be buying homes. There's no doubt about that. But the lack of inventory is going to create this panic again, or this overbidding. And if you're a little bit more educated than the next client, you're going to be set up for success. So I hope you give us a call and really start those conversations.
Yeah, and we believe that. And I believe, and I will defend our people because I've worked with our people for a number of years. I think we're the most knowledgeable, the most passionate. We're dedicated to doing what's best for our client, not pushing on some program du jour, super fun, happy meal, 2-1 buy down. We actually have to go over the math. And we always say, do the math with our clients. We will do that for you. But John, I have to address the following with you right now, because there's such momentum in the home buying arena right now. We're seeing it. But the Federal Reserve is doing everything. You ready? This is a 70s term. It's a buzz kill. They're killing our buzz. They're raining our parade. We want to go out and party. They don't want us to. What's going on? The data and the Fed, it's really taking, in my opinion, this is just one man's opinion, on the psychological aspects of what the buyers and sellers are going for. So John, I'm going to get you all jacked up right now. The Federal Reserve raises the Fed funds rate 7 times. I know it's my favorite number, but not in raising rates. 7 times in 2022 and once so far in 2023. I mean, come on. Really? Yeah, really. More to come, John, as predicted by me. I wish I was wrong. I'm not going to be wrong. They're waiting for the Fed funds minutes of the last meeting to come out. They're going to get misinterpreted. You saw what happened in the stock market yesterday. It's absolute, to me, my opinion, an overreaction, because people want to buy homes and invest in real estate, John, and they're killing it.
I mean, the Fed is just an extension of the government, and they're playing mind control games right now. They're just wanting to control what's going on with the market. They're putting out their false narratives or their spin on how the reports came out. And then we'll learn the truth in a month, 45 days later, of how the actual numbers shook out, and the market will come back around. I mean, it's sad that this is the way that it has to be, because you're right, Harry. They're putting a buzzkill on everything that everyone's trying to do. They open their mouth and say things to the extreme when they should not be, and it's causing the markets to tumble. You know what? In my opinion, just shut up and do your job. But you know what? The federal government doesn't do that. They like to bolster and speak loudly, and we're stuck in that position right now.
So Becky, we always say control what you can control, right? But we can't control that. It's all noise to us. How does it affect us? Well, we say on a day-to-day basis it shouldn't affect us, but what it's really doing psychologically, it's affecting our buyer. But what do we tell our buyer? What are you listening to? What are you waiting for? If you want to go buy a house, so what? Rates going up from 6.5% to maybe 7% now, or 6.875. If it's right for you, Becky Alley, for your client, for our team, we don't listen to the noise, but we as professionals, sometimes we have to address it because we're going to get questions, right?
Yeah, I mean, and the issue though is that we as people, or sheeple, sometimes we're very reactionary to what's happening. Someone says something and we're like, oh, gasp, clench my pearls, what's happening, right? When in reality, if you just let the dust settle, drain the swamp, and really take the emotion out of the words, you're seeing that it's not that serious, right? They say something and stocks go up, stocks go down. The interest rates are very volatile right now. So the key is securing the money and securing that interest rate. Once we identify the price point that you feel comfortable with, we need to lock and secure the rate as quickly as possible, because the rates are very volatile right now. And it's key to make sure that we're identifying what you feel most comfortable with. And the reality is that when people ask me, what do you think about the rates? What are they going to do? I don't care about what the rates are. I care about you being able to forge your payment, controlling what we can control, controlling our emotions. Reality is that the last couple of years, we came off rates that were just historic. They were the lowest of the lows, coming back to not the highest of the highs, but the highest of the highs that we've seen in the last 10 years. That is very true. And the problem is that there's a lot of professionals in our industry that don't know any better, because all they've known is this refinance market. All they've known is this market where fish are jumping in the boat and they don't know how to fish. So now they're kind of adding to the panic. The reality is that people are buying houses, all of history that once the housing industry came into play and fair housing was born, people have always been buying houses no matter what the interest rate is. Interest rates are still very affordable. I don't think they're going to get, we're going to see some ticking, but the reality is you have to make sure you have a payment you can afford, and that's really all that matters. And let the Fed say what they're going to say, because once you secure that property, this time next year, it's going to be 5% more than what you're paying for right now. That's a fact. And if you secure it now, and when rates do eventually settle down, you are going to be able to refinance at a payment that's going to be a little bit more palatable for you at that point.
So, excuse me. So, Harvey, that's exactly what we tell our clients. Just what Becky said. Grandma Allie told us that rates were 18% in the early 80s. 7% is a gift. So the first thing I tell people when they say to me, "Oh, interest rates are so high," no, they're not. They're not high. You just don't know any better. On a 50-year scale, if you chart it out 50 years, they're actually on the low end, Harvey. And
Yes.
like you told me early this morning, you talked to one of your realtors today, 4 PAs, you're busy, you're seeing people buying homes. We just tell our people, because it's the only thing that they know of. What are the rates? Rates are going too high. They read too much. They're talking to their brother-in-law, sisters, fathers, uncle too many times. And you got to talk to a professional, Harvey.
The slide of 2006 is very unlikely to ever happen again. The underwriting became stringent. The economy is really strong now in a different way. Employment's good, which is interesting. So there's some unknowns out there. Our markets are volatile. But the one thing is this inventory. The inventory is the inventory. And as you mentioned, those numbers here, there's still some houses out there for sale, not in every city. So it's regional. It could be from 1 mile road to the next mile road here in Metro Detroit. But home ownership's the way to go. Again, The call this morning I took was like the guy said, rents have gone through the roof and the landlords are taking advantage of another marketplace. So you're either going to pay your mortgage or a landlord's mortgage. And if home ownership's for you, love to get you on board and make it all exciting and fun. And that's what we've been doing for over 30 years here at Capital.
Yeah, panel, I want to go round robin on this next segment. That's a great segue, Harvey, and I appreciate that. Activity in our area, right? This is the Hardcore Mortgage Real Estate Business Podcast, brought to you by Capital Mortgage Funding, powered by Fairway Independent Mortgage Corporation, equals in honor MLS number 2289. Activity in our area. John Cole, you not only have a house here, you have a house up north. What's the activity like up north?
New construction or renovations everywhere. Not as many homes to sell. Everybody's doing an addition, improving their property. Just, taking that home and knowing that they're going to stay there for a little bit of time so that they're fixing it up to enjoy it. And I love seeing that. I was up there last weekend or 2 weekends ago and did a walk around all the lakes, and just noticing how many people were adding on an additional garage, additional bonus room was just amazing. And, like I said, it's good to see. Construction companies are doing really, really well up there. They're booked out 6, 8, 9 months. So it's, the next thing is, okay, let's start to see some houses on the market too. But at the same point, you're getting some people that are going to be staying there for a long period of time, making that home theirs and making it in a community. And it's exciting to see.
Yeah. Becky, Southeastern Michigan, let's talk about like Southern Wayne County, Monroe County. We talked about Downriver, Trent, Allen Park, Southgate, Woodhaven. I mean, it's still a lot of activity, right?
Oh yeah. Literally multiple offers you're seeing almost on every home. The buyers have to be competitive. We have to be creative. And part of that is just having that open lines of communication. The market it's not going to be slowing down. We've been preaching about this. I feel like we're ahead of things when we're talking about it. We're anticipating, so therefore we're not reacting. We've known that spring was going to come early, because the reality is that we have been in a housing shortage. There was a moment in time where buyers could really capitalize on concessions, the end of January, and that's completely flipped now, where you're seeing less concessions going in because they know you have to be competitive. So it doesn't matter where you're looking in Michigan. It is different. Like up north, you're seeing a lot of renovations, and the up north is even more scarce, right, for inventory, because people have got those properties and they are locked in. You get lucky if you can get a property up north at this point, especially if it's lake frontage, lake view. But here in the Southeast Michigan area, people are really, really getting out there, and you have that 25 to 35 that are just really aggressively entering the buyer's pool. Not to mention you have outsiders coming in. Metro Detroit is very affordable, and you have these outside investors in other states that are seeing that, and they're gobbling up these properties. So it's very important for our buyers to understand that you have to throw your hat in the ring, so that way you can actually take a piece of that, so that way you're not subject to renting. Because if you're not buying, you're renting from somebody. That is a fact.
Yeah. Harvey, let's go to a little miscellaneous cleanup. Who's on our show this weekend, Harvey?
John Kolb's guest is
Nancy Warson from Real Estate One. I've been trying to get Nancy on the air for a couple years now, and she's finally agreed to come on the air and spit her knowledge, and we're excited to have her out there.
Yeah, it's wonderful. The Hardcore Mortgage Real Estate Business Show, heard every Saturday morning, 9 to 10 a.m. Special guest, Nancy Warson, this week with John Kolb. Harvey, Harry, Becky, Lisa, we're always on. We're always around. We're always somewhere trying to educate people and do a public service announcement. We don't do the show for ourselves. We've been doing the show now. We're in our 23rd year. It's really a public service that we try to provide to everybody. We just want people to get the correct information, disseminate accurate versus inaccurate information, as I like to say, for our area. And we really look at it as a privilege and an honor to go ahead and serve our community. Harvey Freed, activity in your area. You kind of know something a little bit about the western part of Michigan, southeastern Michigan. Why don't you pontificate on what's going on and how you view it?
Well, it's funny you should mention that, Harry. Actually, we have a great state here, the great state of Michigan. We do mortgages all over the great state. And I'll take it even further out west than you thought. I'm going to be having on in next month a little bit of different angles of agents across the state of Michigan. We're going to be having some of our best agents in Holland, Michigan, in the Traverse City area. They're going to be reaching out on the Hardcore Mortgage Show, moving on to 2023 here, and talking about some of these things we're talking about across the state. So going out that far west, Harry, yeah, otherwise around here, like we said, it's lack of inventory, and there are a great amount of new buyers hitting the marketplace. So get that approval, get that strong approval letter. We don't even say pre-approval anymore. We're getting our clients here approved, ready to go, so they can close in 30 days or less, which most transactions happen in that time frame.
That's wonderful. Harvey, I'll take those as your last words. I'll go to Becky and John for last words, and we'll sign off. Becky Alley, last words for a Ice-Mageddon, February 22nd, 2023.
Well, on this Ice-Mageddon Day, I'm actually, as of right now, still doing a buyer seminar at Casa Armando in Berkeley. Starts at 6:30, weather permitting. They haven't canceled it just yet. So if you're in the area and you're looking to be educated, I will be there in person. Reach out to me. I'll make sure I get you on the list. We're excited about it. Education is free. And if you're uncertain about the home buying process, you don't know what to expect, what do you think the market's going to be doing? I'm going to be touching on all those amazing points, but then also speaking with everyone individually on how they can make home ownership a reality for their future. And I'm really pumped about that.
Everybody out there, listen, if you can get out there, hopefully the weather is great. It's a free home buying seminar. Becky Alley, one of the best that we have in our entire country, top 1%. John Cole, last words of the day.
Like I said, just make sure you're dealing with good, educated people that are going to do the right thing. Like we've all said over and over again, rates don't matter as much as it does to make sure that you're going to get your transaction done. I have people shopping against banks, and banks are saying that they can't get purchase closed for 90 days. That's not going to win you an offer. So you got to look past the rate. You got to look past the logo that these people are throwing at you, and make sure that you're dealing with people who are going to be able to get the job done and in the time that you need to.
Excellent job, and I appreciate that. My wrap for the day is this. Listen, everybody knows what happened at Michigan State University. We've got a lot of Spartans out there. The Spartan family is strong. Spartans will. Again, I went to the game against the University of Michigan at Chrysler Arena. It was very emotional. Also watched the game last night. It was a big win against IU. Again, very, very emotional. We are a Spartan family. We are Spartan strong. And a shout out to all the Spartans out there listening, not only in the great state of Michigan, and that is the state of Michigan. In the state of Michigan, go green. And to those of you all around the country, we appreciate it. And our thoughts will always be with Spartan Nation. For Becky Alley, John Kolb, Harvey Freed, our producer director, Mr. Roberto Moshane in the booth. One of these days, you guys are going to get to see him. He's behind the curtain hiding there. This is Harry Glantz for the Hardcore Mortgage Real Estate Business Podcast for Wednesday, Ice-Mageddon. Hopefully it doesn't turn out that way. February 22nd, 2023. And we'll see you soon.